Hello Sagittarius, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy the reading. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, or like and share. And if you're returning to the channel, thank you for coming back. Welcome back. As you know, this is a general reading, so there will be elements in here which will apply to you, and or they could apply to somebody else that you are close to at this time, somebody in your environment currently. If you have elements in your chart which are associated with another sign that you are aware have an indirect influence on you, so perhaps your ascendant, a strong ascendant, or your moon sign, or Venus, or some other element which is different from your sun sign, then that may very well come in for you as well. Then you can cross-watch to my other videos to get more information. If you, so just take what resonates for you, or it may apply to somebody else at this time. I work with the 12 houses of the zodiac, so as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear at this time. So now, in the first house, we have Grand Cross Provoker. Your first house is everything to do with yourself, your physical body, your appearance, how you come across to other people, so what you're projecting outwards, and also what they are perceiving, how they see you. So that could be your physical appearance, but also your characteristics and your personality. This house is also about your own self-oriented interests, so everything to do with yourself and your physical body, and also your personal independence, how you are making your way in the world, what you're busy with, what you're contemplating, what you're doing, how you project yourself outwards. So now with Grand Cross Provoker, a lot of energy, a lot of tension, a lot of possibly frustration going on as well. So this is a very tense bunch of aspects to be having, and it's all at very hard angles. So this is bringing down sort of tension and pressure. And this is pressure to grow, really. So it's also a great catalyst for movement and change. So possibly you have elements going on in your life which are old and familiar and need to change, or you feel you need to, you're being pushed by the universe to rearrange things and so on. But this can also be about taking stock of everything that's going on. So it's a realistic view of, how you want to be in the world, how you want to move forward, and all of that. It's also a realistic look at yourself externally, and how you're being perceived by others. You could also be juggling a lot of your talents, or your abilities, or all the things that you are that make up your personality and who you are. So you may be juggling a lot of things at this time, trying to make progress on certain issues, and you've actually spread yourself too thin. You've got too many balls in the air. So the only way to deal with that is actually to prioritize what are the most important elements that you want to work on. You've got to focus on those, and you've got to be disciplined about them. You also need to communicate properly. Don't clam up and go inward and then not actually tell others what it is you're grappling with, and perhaps you can delegate a few things. But you're going to have to dig deep, really, for your strength to get through this phase and to move forward, because it's going to set the tone for quite a few things going on in your chart as well. Then in the second house, we have earth element stability. Your second house is the house of income, your income, how it's coming into you, so your money coming into you. It's also the house of your self-worth, how you're feeling about that, past, present, and future, and then also your values, what you value, your value systems, what you value in yourself, what you value in others, and in your possessions, and in your world in general. It's also the house of possessions, ownership, owning of anything, whether it's a physical item, it could be a much bigger item. So it's small things, big things, whatever you own in your life, and your feelings around that as well. So now with the earth element stability coming in, this can be bringing in stability for you, or it's asking you to reach for this now. So you may be needing to really find your inner strength and stand firm on certain things. That may be applicable for you, but it's also about taking responsibility for what is going on in this area of your life. So it's also about applying certain methods. So it's about being methodical, practical, organized, Those are very much earth sign traits. So you've got to bring that into this house. It's also about trust and patience. This is a slower moving building energy. This is not a quick fix, fiery. This is slow moving building. This is about structure, about putting things in place, planting seeds, and so on. This card can also bring in issues to do with property, real estate. Perhaps you're buying and selling land, or it's part of your profession, or you're just interested in it in some way, but it could be anything to do with that. But it's also about living close to the land. So you could be purchasing land with the view to eventually moving there and retiring one day, growing your own food, or having some kind of subsistence from there. It could be to do with that, or it could just be an investment and then you're wanting to go off the grid. It's that need, that want to do that. But it's also about spending time in nature and having a piece of nature for yourself. That could be coming in as well. You could also be going into business, and this card can also bring in meetings with very influential people who are going to, like-minded people who are going to assist you in some way, or they're going to be influential in your endeavors at this time. The other side of this card, which can come in, especially in this house when it comes to money and your self-worth and your values, this card could also be about getting rid of stubborn or fixed views that you may have on certain issues. So these are outdated, old-fashioned views almost, or things that you've kind of believed about yourself for a long period of time. And part of this taking a realistic view of yourself, which is in your first house, is assessing all of that and seeing whether those views and beliefs still serve you at this time. You may find that they actually don't. Or there's old, stubborn, fixed views about things which are holding you back in some way. So these are fears about change and trying new things. So it's a kind of a fear about moving forward, changing things up. You don't want to let go of something because something else may not work, and so on. So it's about that. So examine that as part of your self-review, which is coming up in your first house as well. Then in the third house, we have Pisces, I believe. So the third house is your house of communication, all forms, whether it's written, verbal, body language. It's also the house of documents and contracts as well. It's also the house of short trips, local trips. This house is also associated with communication, obviously on a wider spectrum. It can be to the public, within your working environment, with other people just anybody in general, but it can also be with specific people, and these are like family members, relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and even neighbors can come in for this. So your environment, your local contacts, and your early education also comes up with this, and your neighborhood. So with Pisces, I believe this card is generally about connecting to the divine in some way. So you may be just needing to have a bit of faith and trust in certain things that are going down in this house. So speak faith and trust to bring that back to you, to boomerang back to you. It could also be that you need to have a bit more compassion about what is going on around you as well. Perhaps there are specific people you're dealing with. But this card always brings in sensitivity, imagination, artistic abilities or endeavors, music, creative things that you want to do. So any of those aspects may very well be coming into this house. Perhaps you're using them for your communication sphere. Maybe it's part of your business, or something that you want to launch, or something you're involved in. But it's being very sensitive to energies, to people, so tuning into the universe, really, that's what it's about. But it's also harnessing the beautiful imaginative qualities and artistic qualities of this sign. It could also be that you may be having an idea from your past is coming back to you, but you'll have to be quick to harness it, because it can sink back into the depths just as quickly. So if a brilliant idea has come back to you from the past, then try and follow it up. This card can also be about, since this is very much a communication card, this can also be about setting boundaries. So you may need to do this in some way, whether it's with one of these family members or people in general, or in your contracts and your documents. Perhaps you're aiming for something, you've been given a new contract now. But this is about communicating your boundaries, being firm about your boundaries. So you may be being pulled under by other people, sort of sucked into their problems and complications. So therefore you need to put boundaries in on that. People taking advantage of your compassion and the softer side of your nature. It could also be that you're being gullible at this time. So something is a bit off and that you're being taken in by someone or some people. It could also be an indication of moving in the wrong crowd or joining the wrong crowd in some way. This card can also bring in things that are unclear or even covert. So things that are just not, it's just not clear. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune pulls a veil over things. So you can't really get clarity. So all of these issues may be coming up for you in your third house. And if this is pertaining to documents and contracts and things, be very careful with that and make it clear what it is you want to say. Then in the fourth house, we have Sun Spirit, lovely card. Fourth house is your house of home, your physical home, the actual, structure itself, but also the atmosphere in the home, the people in your home. It's also very much about your relationship to your family, your roots, your foundation, your ethnic identity, your ancestry. For some people, this is vitally important. So this could very well be an aspect for you. So with this coming in, the Sun Spirit card is a beautiful, happy card. It's a very positive card. It's a very confident card. But it's bringing in, for the fourth house, it's bringing in happiness, joy, popularity. I mean, you could be entertaining, having lots of people over in your house, or having lots of visitors, or just, a sort of a whirlwind of people coming in and out of your home, and you're at the center of attention. You're loving it. You're enjoying the whole situation, the social aspect of it. And it's entertaining and people coming and going. It's also having confidence and being charismatic. And being influential with the people that are in your home. So possibly, as I said, with visitors or people in and out of your home environment. You could also be having parties and events, or you're planning a party and an event in the warmer months. So Northern Hemisphere, that will be next year, and for Southern Hemisphere, that will be coming up shortly. So it's summer parties and events, things like that. Children could be involved. This is also about love and generosity, so bringing that into your home life, your home environment, or with your family, as I said. This could also be from a physical point of view in your home. It could also be that you're aiming or you're wanting to create a really grand home, something very posh and grand. That's exactly what it is. Or you want to create that environment in your home. Perhaps you're aiming for a new home where that is the case, or you're longing for that, or you want to bring elements of that into your actual home itself. It could also be new furnishings, so redecoration. All the warm, sunny colors come in with this. Perhaps you want to do that. Perhaps it's necessary at this time to do that into your home, to lift the energies in your home and really put your spirit into it. This card is also a yes card. So if you're buying and selling property, or you're wanting to move up in the world into a bigger property and all that, this is bringing the yes card in for you. Then in the fifth house, we have Black Moon Lilith mystery. So the fifth house is your house of recreational activities, fun activities, outgoing activities, any kind of activity which is fun and recreational for you. There's a speculative aspect to this. So this could be gambling, like casino weekends, or playing the stock market, that does come in. But it's also the house of love affairs and, passion and romance and all that. And it's also the house of your creative side, or creative projects, or any kind of creative aspect of yourself that you are, projecting or busy with or developing. It's also the house of your children or other children that you are associated with at this time, and all aspects around children. So it could even be pregnancy and so on. So now with this card coming in, this is kind of this card is about undercurrents going on. So things are not quite clear. You could be waiting for something to happen. Not all the facts are known, so there's no real clarity. And as I said, there could be undercurrents moving around, whether this is to do with your children, or it could be in a love affair, or just some other aspect. But it's also about getting your own darker emotions under control. So there's an element of control with this card, because this could bring in issues surrounding darker emotions which are not getting a healthy outlet. So perhaps you need to do activities which channel this effectively. Or it could be that you're in a sporting activity, you're part of a sports club or sport activity of some kind, and you're seeing this in your environment, or you're experiencing it in yourself. But this card can bring in this card can bring in things, emotions to do with like jealousy, envy, anger, fear, guilt, sort of revenge even comes in with this. So these are serious, dark emotions. It's also bitterness or feelings of being overlooked in some way. So it could be that you haven't been chosen for something, or your children haven't been chosen for something, or they're just not favored in a specific group activity. You just don't know. But it can also be about the control of those emotions in some way. It could be to do with a love affair even. So this card can also bring in glamour and seduction and obsessions of all kinds, or obsessions around seduction and erotica and so on. So any one of those elements could be coming in for you at this time. Then in the 6th house, we have part of fortune increase. So your 6th house is your house of work, your workplace, your work colleagues, your work projects that you're busy with, your daily routines around that, and your daily life, your lifestyle as well. It's also about health and diet, and lifestyle goes hand in hand with that, and it's also the house of pets. So with part of fortune coming in, this is exactly what it says, an increase, but it's a fortuitous increase that's going on. So this card also is in anybody's chart usually is our pot of gold, but it's often overlooked. It's not obvious, or you're not harnessing it in some way. So it's some aspect of yourself which is really very, very beneficial for you, but you need to harness it. So this could be through some sort of karmic trigger. Your hidden talents and abilities start to come out. So with a karmic trigger, that could be like an impromptu event that occurs, and you're being asked to step in and do something in some way. So it could be an impromptu speech, or some kind of, step in and take control of something. It could be manifesting in a variety of ways, but it's the stirring of hidden talents and abilities, if that is applicable for you. But if something should appear where you suddenly go, I'm actually quite good at this, I should use it more often, or try and build a career around it, then that's where the study and the study element comes in. So you need to study or hone that talent or ability which you've now noticed or you've now harnessed. You need to actually to work it some more, to make it more beneficial for you, to actually put your stamp on it and actually fully own it. It's about that as well. This card brings in benefits of all kinds. It brings in destiny. So whatever is coming to you in this house is destined for you. This card can also bring in aspects of being noticed. So this could be something to do with this talent or ability which suddenly manifests, or just you being noticed in some way. Rewards, gifts. There's an easy flow with this card coming into this house. So it's an easy flow. You're going to be moving forward in some way. You could be overcoming and resolving. And this could also be to do with your health and diet, or a lifestyle change that you're trying to make. So you could be moving forward on that and overcoming or resolving difficulties. This card is also about public promotions, and that's very much related to work. But it's learning, teaching, exams, all of those things are all highly indicated with this card. So recognition as well coming in for you, but it's a very beneficial card. When it comes to health and diet, generally this brings in quite a good health element. So you may just be feeling, overall nothing in particular worrying you, or what if you have got something, you might be resolving it, or you are just dealing with it and you're okay at the moment. It generally brings in good health, this card. Then in the 7th house, we have Gemini, I think. So your 7th house is your house of partnerships or relationships. This is love partnerships or relationships, and also business partnerships and relationships. So with the Gemini card coming in, apart from all the mental aspects and the Gemini qualities that this brings in, it is also the card of soulmates, or a very, very important romantic relationship which is now going to the next level. So that could be coming in for you as well. So it's a soulmate. That can also be a very, very important friendship, or it could be somebody that you're working with at that time. You just have a very deep connection with them. But it's very important, and it's a soulmate relationship that could be coming in for you at this time. If that is not applicable for you, then this is to do with your current relationship or your current business partnership, or somebody else that you're very close to at this time. You could be just in two minds about a decision in this house, in the 7th house. So it's you're indecisive about something. You could be restless, you could be distracted. Perhaps you need to change up your routines, you need to try new things, you need to be a bit more spontaneous and flexible, try new things, change it up, do more fun activities. Either that, or you are doing too much of that and there's not enough substance in the relationship. You're not actually listening and paying attention to a whole lot of things that are going on in this house. So it's got that dual element to it. So you'll have to just see how it's manifesting for you. But whatever it is, communication is going to be very important. Gemini is all about communication. It's ruled by Mercury, which is the planet of communication. So whatever you're doing or you want to do in this house, what you say, how you say it, your words, everything is going to be very, very important. Any kind of contract, any kind of verbalizing, written, body language even. And if you're wanting to change something up or bring more fun in or just have a thorough sit down chat about everything, make sure that you're paying attention to what they say as well. Okay. It could also be that you have a Gemini person coming into your relationship, or could even your business partnership, where they're clever, they're talkative, they multitask. But this card is also about sharing of ideas, having fun, and technology comes into this. So that could be from a business aspect as well. But it's generally fast-moving, quick exchange of ideas, and quick movement and quick wit, and staying on your feet. Being quick-witted, and being able to be very flexible and moving from one thing to another very quickly. Then in the 8th house, we have Mercury Mind. So you have in your chart, you have 3 Mercury-related cards, all one after the other, 7th, 8th, and 9th house coming in. So these are related in some way. So now in the 8th house, this is your house of a deeper committed partnership. So a love partnership, or it could be a business partnership. So this is the next level after the 7th house. So this is on a love partnership. This is the deepest sexual connection between you, but it's also very much about the merging of your emotional and material resources. And this can go for a business partnership as well. So this is the merging of your ideas, their ideas, how you want to do things, how you're going to do this, what are you going to do with this, how you're going to manage your money, and so on. So it's the merging of all of that. It's also the house of big finance. So this is your investments, your insurances, your taxes, your assets, your banking and your accounting, and also the things like legacies and inheritances, if that applies to you. It's also the house of handling other people's money. So you may be doing this on behalf of your partner, or for a business, or for people in general. Maybe it's your profession, or you're doing it for a significant other. But this house does have an element of endings and beginnings, and things falling away and new things coming in. So it's got a rebirth element to it as well. But I feel with Mercury Mind coming in, this is the merging of you with this other partner, this person, whether it's a business or a love partnership. It's the merging of everything and the thinking about it. So this is... So communication is very, very important yet again. So you really need to choose your words, be positive, think carefully, pay attention to what is going on around you, and what the other person is saying, because Mercury can be very fickle, and that comes out in the Gemini as well. It can be very fickle, sort of gift of the gab, very talkative, even argumentative can come up as well. So you need to bring in the more intellectual side of this side, which is listening, paying attention, sorting things out, analysis, communication, and really being direct and be very, very clear. So communication is important. You need to put effort into your words, effort into what you're saying. Numbers and figures are also indicated here. Technology, electronics. The reasoning element is very strong in Mercury. Again, flexibility coming in. So you may need to adapt yourself to their ideas and what they want, or in your profession, if you're dealing with money, or this is to do with financial aspects in all cases for yourself, even, looking at things, reasoning, and applying technology and electronics to perhaps your financial world. This card can also bring in very quick developments as well, things moving quickly. You could also be having news of some kind, because Mercury is the messenger of the gods, and so news may be coming in for you. So you could even be hearing gossip or having news of some kind. Perhaps it's something that you've been waiting for, or something that changes something in your environment. But this card is, as I said, apart from gossip and scandals, could just be or you giving news or you are receiving news. But choose your words wisely. If you're going to be passing on information about other people or other situations, be very careful with that. But all in all, it's about being objective, but also taking into consideration all aspects and whatever people or that you're dealing with in this, listening, paying attention, and bringing the analysis side of it, the intellectual side, the cleverness in to this house. Then in the 9th house, we have Mercury retrograde reinvention. So yet another Mercury card coming in. This one has quite a different aspect to it altogether. So this is, the 9th house is a broad house. You'll have to just see how it works out for you, how it's relating to these other two, and how it's relating to the rest of your chart. Because from this side, it really is about meeting the world. So it's in all things international, all things foreign feature in this house. So this could be international travel, or it could be you are sort of associated or kind of in contact with people who are foreign or in different countries. So it could be an online business or an import and export, something like that. But it's also about, the 9th house is also about adventure and exploration of all kinds. So this could be trips that you're taking, some sort of trip that you're planning and you want to do, but it's international, all right? This house is also about other aspects to do with further education and study. So this is university level or adult education. So you could be somebody who's now choosing your course of study, your university career. Looking at all of that. It's also about the philosophy, religion, and belief systems of all kinds. So that could be part of your study, or it could be just you enjoying that, or perhaps you're going into religious studies of some kind, or you have a deep faith in certain things and you're understanding deeper aspects of your faith, or you're interested in other belief systems that may come in. But it's also about the search for meaning and wisdom comes into this house, and having faith and finding faith and so on. But this house also has other aspects to it. It's about teaching, you may be a teacher, and therefore communication is really, really important. It's also about publishing. So this is publishing, and it could be reaching a wider audience, which is international. So publishing comes into this. Also promotional work of all kinds. So you could be a PR consultant of some kind, or you're involved in that in some way. It could also be, this house is also about the law. The 9th house rules the law, and it rules the higher courts. So you could be involved in a legal issue of some kind, which is coming in for you. So, it's quite a broad house, this one. So now with Mercury retrograde reinvention coming in, what it is saying to you is that this is a very unpredictable energy coming in. So what it's saying to you is that at this time there could be delays, changes going on, so unexpected changes. You could even have misunderstandings and mistakes being made. So misunderstanding with communication, whether it's email or people, when you talk to each other. You could have delays with the travel, international journey that you're trying to do, or once you get there, things have to be changed around, or something gets delayed or changed up. And it's also to do with cars and roads and road trips and maps and things like that. There could be shifts and changes going on to do with that. But it's also about postponing big purchases or big commitments from a financial point of view, or signing important documents and contracts, things like that. If possible, try and postpone it. This is usually a period of about a week. So this may happen during the course of the month, all right? So this energy may shift during the month and then you're fine. again. So you'll just have to monitor, see how things are going. But if you're finding you're in a period where people just are misunderstanding each other, or mistakes are being made and things are being overlooked, then that is the Mercury retrograde energy. So then wait a while until the energies have shifted again. So postpone the purchase of big things and contracts and things like that, because it probably won't work, or you may have to take it back, or you may have to redo it again, or you may have to change something about it. This card is actually a wonderful time for reviewing things. So if you're trying to publish something, or you've written something, you want to publish it, or you've decided on something, that's a course that you're going to take, or you've written something and you want to now, or you've put something together, a plan together, and you now want to sort of get this known to others. Just be aware that more than likely you will have to review something on it. So this is a very good time to go back over whatever it is that you're trying to do, or you're trying to bring out. You need to review it. You need to go back over it again, triple check it. This is back to the drawing board, this card. So this is about renewing, revising, reviewing, rewriting, anything with a re in front of it, okay, reinvention. So this is the time to go back over this thing again, look at it very, very carefully, get other people to look at it again, because in there will be issues which were overlooked somewhere, some mistake, or something isn't quite right, or it could be done better. And once you've gone over it and reviewed it and had a thorough look and checked it again and again, it will be better. It will be much better than the first draft, okay? So that's what this card is about. This is all about going over things again, okay? Then in the 10th house, we have Neptune sacrifice. 10th house is your house of career. It's the house of fame, reputation, and your public status as well. And it's also the house of authority figures. This could be somebody in your family, or it could be in your environment, or people you look up to. It could be in your work environment. It could be a mentor or some sort of authority figure. So with Neptune sacrifice coming in, this sacrifice is to do with something that you may have to just put aside or let go of at this time for the greater good. Okay, so you've got to look at the big picture here. Something you may have to let go of something or sacrifice something for the greater good. That's what this card can. It can have that aspect to it. There's many aspects actually. But this card can also be perhaps from a career point of view, or that things are just not clear right now. As I said to you, Neptune can draw a veil over things. So things just may not be clear right now. There's no clear path or direction that you should be following. At all times with Neptune, when Neptune is present, you must be aiming for directness and clarity, because things can very seriously go awry, get misunderstood, mistakes are made, or things just get misunderstood, or there could be deception even involved going on. So just be careful of that. There could be confusion going on. There could also be some kind of victim consciousness going on, whether it's with you or with somebody in your environment. Perhaps it's an authority figure or somebody in your career. Somebody, and they could be falling subject to this as well. But there could be confusion, as I said, even deception going on, or some sort of self-undoing, some sort of self-sabotage going on. All of these aspects come under this card. But certainly from a career point of view, I would say, or even from a sort of a reputation or a fame point of view, this card can also, the gentler qualities of it are incredible sensitivity, imagination, and this is tapping into your artistic ability big time. So this is almost downloads from the universe, from the divine. So this is artistic ability, and this is sort of aptitude for the music industry or film industry, and the arts. All of that comes in for this. So possibly it could be a career change for you, or perhaps you're now harnessing this in your life. But all of those aspects come in with Neptune. So film, music, the arts and artistic ability, imagination, writing, drawing down fantasies and illusions and transmitting them into story form. But the other side of that again is illusion and glamour. Glamour as well. There could be glamorous circumstances going on. Fame, as I said, may fall under this. And also addictions. Addictions may come in under this. So just be careful of all of that in your 10th house. Then in the 11th house, we have fire element desire. The 11th house is the house of your friendships. It's the house of your hopes, your personal hopes and wishes. and your self-oriented interests, like your hobbies and your interests. It's also the house of your networks and your contacts, so that leads on from your career house as well. So these are contacts and networks from a social point of view. Could be from friendships, and your interactions with all of them, and it's also your interactions with groups of all kinds. You in a group with other people, whether it's a club, or an association or a society or something like that, or a group of companies even. It's also futuristic stuff. So this could be global trends that you're tapping into or you're seeing, global consciousness, social reform and causes, that sort of thing. So there's a lot going on in this, but with this fire element desire, I feel that it could be that you need to bring in a bit of honesty with a friendship, possibly, or in a group that you're a part of. You may need to act assertively with someone to get clear, to put your cards on the table so that there's no misunderstanding, because misunderstanding has come up here a couple of times. So just be careful with that. Be honest and act assertively you may just have to get upfront with somebody about something. If that's not applying for you, it could also be that there are quick changes coming into this 11th house for you. You could be getting started with something. It's a personal hobby or interest of yours. You could be getting started with something, or a new direction is taking shape now. And this could be within a club set or group setting that you're involved in. Perhaps you're joining new groups. So there's new things, there's fresh ground. This is about changes. Could even be a sort of scorching the landscape to start afresh. So maybe you need to scrap a couple of friendships that have just not worked for you or not serving you in some way. It could be that, or you just need to get yourself out of some groups which are just not working for you right now. You could also be facing a few challenges, some competition in this house. This is also the card of courage and daring. Okay, you could be facing a few bossy people. You may need to protect your interests in this house as well. So this could be very much a group setting, or it could be a friendship setting as well. Then in the 12th house, we have Moon Soul. 12th house, this is a very reflective card, and it falls into your reflective house, which is your 12th house. The 12th house is the house of the unconscious, your deeper self, your inner self, your drives, your motivations, and the inner you. And it's also the house where you want to go to reflect and to be in solitude, to withdraw. It's the 12th house. It's also the house of your spiritual life, and meditation, mysticism and healing, all of that. It's the house of service to others. So you could be involved in any one of those areas, or you're in a service environment to others, a work environment, or volunteer even. This is the house of karmic lessons as well. And it's also the house of escapism. So this is where you go when you want to escape, when you just want to shut the world down and have a break. But that can also go the other way and become addictive as well. So drugs and addiction fall in under this house. Resolutions and endings fall in under this house. Also, your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So this could be university, which came up possibly before, libraries, government institutions, hospitals, prisons, any kind of institution. It's your experiences in there, or when you go with somebody else and your experiences with that. So with the Moon Soul card coming in, this is about following your gut feelings in some way. So you may just be feeling deeply about something, and you need to bring it into your consciousness and actually act on it in some way. Or you need to tap in to your deeper feelings about something. This card is also about moods and habits, your moods and habits. So examine those, check those out, see where you are with that. It could also be about living in the past in some way. So you can't do that actually, because it just creates problems, sort of depression and anxiety. So you can look back, you can reflect, you can be a little bit nostalgic, but you mustn't live there. Okay. This card is also about security, your personal security. It's also about shyness, and paying attention to your dreams. And it has a very strong female element to it. So a mother's wisdom, women's cycles, pregnancy, all of those sorts of things. Everything to do with women and women's wisdom may come in with this as well. So you may be consulting that, or you may have a mother or in your midst, in your personal environment, and this is why you're going to a hospital perhaps with them, or you could be going through that, or it could just be a birth, as I said, but it's all about women as well, very much in touch with that. This card is also about crowds and fame, so that could be coming to you in some way as well, and the arts and the helping professions. So people like nurses have quite a strong 12th house element usually in their chart. So so crowds and fame, perhaps you're getting involved in that in some way, and the arts may be coming in, but helping professions, women's wisdom, cycles, all of that. But at all times it's about examining your deepest feelings and going with that, and how you're going to move forward in this house. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe, so that other people can have access to this. It will circulate it across YouTube. And I hope you have a great month, and take care, and I will see you next time.